What happens when the Mexican cartel, known for its brutal tactics and nearly flawless operations, targets an ICE transport unit, only to realize too late that the men they're attacking aren't just ordinary guards, but battle-hardened ex-Green Berets? The result is a clash of epic proportions, where survival is the only option. As the sun sets over a barren highway, the ICE transport unit embarks on its high-stakes journey. The convoy is carrying dangerous cartel members, men whose criminal activities are well known and whose fates have been sealed by law enforcement. But what seems like a routine transport is far from it. The tension in the air is palpable. Every turn, every mile, every shift in the wind feels like the calm before a storm. No one knows it yet, but the cartel has been watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The ICE transport unit is led by Captain Marcus Kane, a man whose past as a Green Beret has hardened him into someone who fears nothing. His eyes are sharp, his mind always calculating, always preparing for what's coming next. The men under his command are not just your average soldiers, they're ex-special forces operatives, men who have faced down enemies in covert missions around the world. Their bond is forged in fire, their skills honed in some of the most dangerous situations known to man. They're not here to babysit prisoners, they're here to make sure nothing goes wrong, and anyone who tries will pay the price. But as the convoy rolls through the remote stretches of desert, a shadow looms closer. Unbeknownst to them, a Mexican cartel faction has been quietly plotting its next move. They know the transport is carrying valuable prisoners. They know the risk, but they also know that it's a risk worth taking. With precise coordination, the cartel's strike force begins their approach, planning to hit hard and fast, using their usual tactics: explosions, diversions, and brute force. However, they've made a fatal mistake. They've underestimated the guards. The men in the transport aren't just ordinary officers. They're trained killers, men who've faced battles in foreign lands, men who can outthink, outmaneuver, and outfight any adversary. As the first explosion hits, shaking the convoy to its core, Captain Kane immediately takes charge. There's no panic, no hesitation. Every member of his unit springs into action. They've been through this before, countless times. It's just another day in the life of the ex-Green Berets, and they've been waiting for this moment. The cartel's forces push forward with calculated confidence, but they quickly realize that this is no ordinary fight. The Green Berets are moving with a precision that sends shockwaves through the cartel's ranks. Every move the cartel makes is countered. Every plan they put in motion is disrupted. Kane's team is already ahead, using the cartel's own tactics against them, cutting off their escape routes, neutralizing their men one by one, and turning their attack into a nightmare. As the battle intensifies, the cartel members begin to realize the truth. These men they're facing are not just guards. They are the last people the cartel should have crossed. Every gunshot, every explosion, and every hand-to-hand fight only strengthens the resolve of the ex-Green Berets. The cartel was counting on brute force, but what they didn't anticipate was a battle fought with military precision. In the chaos, Captain Kane remains calm, knowing that while the fight is intense, victory is within reach. The cartel may have thought they could take down the convoy and its captives, but they've picked the wrong target. Now it's time for the ex-Green Berets to show the cartel exactly who they're messing with. The clash is far from over, but the Green Berets have already proven one thing: this battle is theirs to win. And as the smoke clears and the cartel begins to retreat, they'll be left with one hard truth: they never stood a chance. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned as we dive deeper into this intense battle and see how the ex-Green Berets continue their mission. This isn't the last time the cartel will make a mistake like this. The fight is far from over. The Mexican cartel has been carefully watching the ICE transport unit for weeks. They know this is their moment, a high-profile transport of key cartel prisoners, whose information could dismantle entire criminal networks. With intelligence from inside sources and careful planning, they know this is their chance to strike. As the convoy makes its way through the remote highway, the cartel's forces are already in position, waiting for the perfect opportunity to launch their ambush. Their plan is ruthless and precise. The cartel begins by tracking the convoy through a series of false intel and distractions, setting up diversions along the route to make the transport believe it's just another routine journey. They've done this before, each time with brutal success. From explosions to fake roadblocks, they've left no stone unturned in their effort to confuse and overwhelm the convoy's defenses. The cartel's attack force is a well-oiled machine. Armed to the teeth with heavy weaponry and ready to kill, they are brimming with confidence. They've targeted convoys like this countless times before, taking out high-profile prisoners with ease. They believe they have the perfect formula: strike hard, break through the defenses, and take control. But the cartel makes a critical mistake. They underestimate their enemies. These aren't just ordinary guards they're facing. The ex-Green Berets protecting the transport are not the kind of men to be intimidated. They're battle-tested, trained to handle the most dangerous of situations. They've seen it all, and they know how to fight back when they're pushed into a corner. The cartel's confidence begins to waver as their plan starts to show cracks. They were expecting an easy assault, but the Green Berets are already one step ahead, quickly neutralizing the cartel's initial attempts to overwhelm the convoy. Each move the cartel makes is countered by a well-executed counterattack, and the cartel begins to realize they've picked the wrong fight. Their overconfidence is their biggest weakness, and it's already beginning to cost them. As the cartel closes in, their meticulously planned attack springs into action. Explosions shake the earth, rattling the convoy as they erupt along the narrow desert highway. The sound of gunfire fills the air, coming from all directions. The cartel, believing they have the upper hand, moves in fast, thinking that their overwhelming firepower will force the ICE transport unit into submission. The convoy is forced to take cover in the open desert, vulnerable and exposed. The cartel thinks it's over, but what they don't know is that the real battle is just beginning. In the midst of the chaos, Captain Kane and his team are far from panicked. They've been through this countless times before. As the first wave of explosions rocks the convoy, the ex-Green Berets spring into action with military precision. They don't hesitate. They immediately set traps, using guerrilla warfare tactics honed from years of covert operations. It's as if they've been waiting for this moment their entire careers. Every move is calculated, every action deliberate. As the cartel forces push forward, they quickly find themselves facing the unexpected. The Green Beret counterattack is swift and brutal. They don't engage in a direct firefight, but instead use the terrain to their advantage, pulling the cartel into carefully planned ambushes, using the desert's natural cover to strike from hidden positions. One by one, the cartel's attackers are picked off by trained snipers and coordinated traps. The tactical advantage shifts in the blink of an eye. The cartel, now realizing something is terribly wrong, starts to question their assumptions. These aren't just guards. They're highly skilled operatives trained in special forces tactics, and they're using their knowledge of terrain, stealth and precision to tear apart the cartel's well-laid plans. It becomes clear, the cartel is up against far more than they bargained for. What was supposed to be an easy ambush turns into a nightmare, as the Green Berets methodically wipe out their assailants one by one. With every passing minute, the cartel's confidence begins to crumble. They thought they were in control, but they've underestimated the men they're facing. The Green Berets are a force to be reckoned with, and the cartel is starting to pay the price for their miscalculation. As the battle rages on, the dust and smoke swirl around the desert, with gunfire echoing through the air. Both sides are taking heavy losses. The cartel's numbers are dwindling, and their initial confidence begins to slip. Yet, despite the overwhelming attack, the ex-Green Berets remain relentless, systematically dismantling the cartel's operation. Each move Captain Kane makes is a step toward turning the tide. He uses his strategic experience to lure the cartel into deadly ambushes, one after another, pushing them further into chaos. Kane's ultimate priority remains protecting the prisoners, making sure the cartel doesn't gain control of them, but he's also executing his counterattack with ruthless efficiency. As the ex-Green Berets continue to strike with deadly precision, the cartel leaders begin to panic. What they thought would be an easy operation to free their high-profile prisoners is turning into a disastrous failure. They scramble to adapt, but it's already too late. The ex-Green Berets are always one step ahead, anticipating every move, countering each attack before it can do real damage. The cartel's meticulously coordinated assault begins to fall apart as key operatives are taken out by sniper fire and their vehicles are sabotaged. The cartel's communication systems are disrupted, throwing them into complete disarray. Their confidence evaporates as they realize the fight has turned against them, and their forces are no match for the skill and experience of the Green Berets. With the cartel retreating and the battle intensifying, Captain Kane signals his team to push forward. It's time to reclaim control of the situation. The ex-Green Berets move like a well-oiled machine, clearing the remaining cartel operatives with military precision, making sure the prisoners remain under tight security. The Green Berets press forward, taking control of the battlefield. Their battle-hardened skills turn the tide completely, and the cartel's morale begins to crumble. As the cartel members retreat, defeated and disorganized, they realize too late they've faced the wrong enemy, and now they're paying the price. The transport unit is safe, but the ex-Green Berets know the fight isn't over. They've secured the prisoners, dismantled the cartel's attack, and made sure their convoy is intact, but in the back of their minds, they know the cartel will be back. The battle is won for now, but Kane and his team are ready for whatever comes next. The fight for survival has just begun. As the cartel's final leader, Diego Rojas, watches his plan fall apart, he realizes that he's losing control of the situation. His men are retreating, their morale shattered, and their coordinated attack has been dismantled by the ex-Green Berets. With the battle slipping through his fingers, Rojas knows he can't afford to lose this fight, not after coming so far. In a desperate move, he decides to confront Captain Kane and his team directly. This is his last chance to reclaim some control, to prove that he can still get the job done. Rojas, armed with his ruthless determination, storms towards Kane's position, ready for a final explosive showdown. The confrontation between the two men is intense. They are opposites in many ways. Rojas, a cold-blooded cartel leader accustomed to power and manipulation, and Kane, a battle-hardened ex-Green Beret, who relies on tactical precision and mental fortitude. The battle that ensues is nothing short of high-stakes combat, a clash of two worlds colliding. They meet in close quarters, each man fully aware that this fight will determine the outcome of everything. For Rojas, it's his final bid for control, but for Kane, it's a moment of redemption. As the two engage, the fight escalates, with each man using his own set of skills to gain the upper hand. Rojas, driven by raw aggression, throws powerful blows, but Kane, relying on years of military training, counters with precision and psychological warfare. Kane's mind works in overdrive, anticipating every move Rojas makes, exploiting his weaknesses. As the battle rages, Kane draws on every lesson he learned in his years as a Green Beret, his knowledge of close-quarters combat, and his ability to stay calm under pressure. In a moment of pure tactical brilliance, Kane outmaneuvers Rojas, using the terrain to his advantage. With a final decisive move, Kane subdues Rojas, capturing him and neutralizing the cartel's leadership once and for all. The air is thick with tension, as the fight comes to an end, and the cartel leader lies defeated. With Rojas neutralized, the remaining cartel members have no choice but to either surrender or flee. They quickly realize that their defeat is inevitable, and their once thriving operation is now in ruins. The ICE transport unit secures the prisoners, making sure they are handed over to authorities. The Green Berets have won this battle. They've protected the transport, neutralized the cartel's leadership, and ensured that the prisoners are safely under the control of law enforcement. But Kane knows this victory is only temporary. While they've won the battle, the war against the cartel is far from over. The cartel is a vast, powerful organization, and this defeat will only make them more dangerous. But for now, the Green Berets have proven one thing: they are a force to be reckoned with, and no matter how ruthless the cartel is, they will always be ready for the next battle. As the dust settles, the once chaotic desert battlefield now lies quiet, the sounds of gunfire and explosions replaced by an eerie calm. The cartel's operation has been dismantled, and the ICE transport unit is secured, but the victory feels incomplete. Captain Kane stands among his team, surveying the aftermath, his mind racing. Despite the brutality of the battle, despite the overwhelming odds they've faced and conquered, Kane can't shake the feeling that this victory is just a small piece of a much larger puzzle. The cartel may have been crushed in this moment, but Kane knows their roots run deep, and their network stretches far beyond what they just witnessed. For the ex-Green Berets, it's just another chapter in an ongoing war, a war that has no real end. As the team makes its way back to base, Kane's phone buzzes with an encrypted message, a reminder that the fight isn't over. It's from an intelligence source he hasn't heard from in months, a whisper of information that sends a chill down his spine. Another cartel faction is making a move. They're preparing to infiltrate a new territory, one that holds untapped potential for their operations. The fight for control is shifting, and Kane and his team know this is far from the last skirmish. This victory over Rojas and his forces might feel sweet, but it's only the beginning of an even larger mission. Dismantling a cartel network that stretches across countries and borders, the weight of the task ahead presses on Kane's shoulders, but he doesn't falter. He knows the road ahead will be long and fraught with danger, but the Green Berets are ready for it. Their training, their experience, and their commitment to the mission are their greatest weapons. They've proven that no matter the odds, no matter the enemy, they can adapt, fight back, and win. But the real battle is just beginning. The cartel is a hydra, with many heads, and Kane won't rest until every single one is taken down. They've won today, but tomorrow holds even greater challenges, and Kane will be ready. As they prepare to move out, a determined look crosses his face. This fight is far from over. If you enjoyed this thrilling story and want to see how the battle unfolds next, make sure to subscribe to our channel. You won't want to miss the next chapter in this relentless fight against the cartel. The war is far from over, and the Green Berets are only just getting started.